from the protest march Surfers Against Sewage. How's it going down there, guys?
Yes, thank you very much, Mum. We are live right down here at Broadhaven Beach. You're accustomed to this wonderful part of Pembrokeshire, Tom, but we're here for, a very worrying reason here today.
Very worrying. I was brought up on this beach. I lived up the hill and over in Little Haven, and we're here because of a problem that hasn't got any better since the early 90s, and it's still an issue.
It's a massive, massive problem. As you can see live across our socials right now, and if you're listening at home, jump on the socials right now. You need to like, you need to share, you need to get involved with this discussion. It's a massive problem. Sewage, raw sewage, is getting dumped off our shorelines here in Pembrokeshire. And the people that use the waterway on a daily basis have got that to contend with. The blue tits. There's reports of the swimming organisation, their members getting really ill. It's deterring them from going out to sea. The surfers all here today. They are so frustrated.
And it's a massive frustration. And how ironic that this is happening when this beach in particular has just got another blue flag, which is great. We do have beautiful beaches around here. And yet, if you go to the Surfers Against Sewage website, there are 2 regular occurrences of us having to close our beaches because sewage has been put straight into our water.
It is absolutely disgusting. A good friend of ours here, Dennis, also DJ Ashley. You can catch him on Pure West Radio tonight from 9 o'clock, 2 hours in the mix for us. But today, here for a real serious problem, Dennis. I mean, there are so many people here today. All have the same voice that this is a major problem.
Well, you can just tell there's just so much anger out there amongst everyone, really. The fact there's been such a huge turnout today shows such a sort of strength of feeling, really, amongst just everyone, because, these are beautiful, pristine oceans. It's enjoyed by so many surfers, swimmers, kayakers. There's so many people wanting to enjoy our oceans. And then, if you sort of download the Surfers Against Sewage app, it gives you alerts when there's like sewage discharges, and certainly, especially in the winter, every day it's just like bing, sewage alert, don't swim, and it just makes you feel so angry, really, because it's just, one of the most sort of like developed nations in the planet, one of the sort of G7 nations, and yet we've got such backward kind of sewage treatment systems, really, and they're just not coping. And there are extra houses going in this village now, so there's going to be extra developments, extra sewage going to the sea and everything. So it's just such a sort of emotive issue, and it's been lovely to see how many people come out today to really sort of make a point about that, really, to be honest.
I mean, it is incredible. There, it's probably in excess of, I'd say, of a good 1,000 people here down Broadhaven today, all with that same voice that is getting echoed. It's not on there, as you say. Come on, we're in 2024. We've got the facilities to be able to not to do this. So, in your sort of mind, why isn't that happening?
I think it's just a number of factors, really. I think the the sewage systems, the pipe works are just not able to cope with what's going on, really. And the fact is, if they actually didn't dump it in the sea, it would then just spew up all our toilets, and which is the worst of the 2 evils, really, isn't it? To be honest, and it's just the systems just aren't coping, really. I think I need to bring Kate in, because Kate is one of the organisers.
Please come and join us, Kate. We are live on Pure West Radio right now. So breaking news, if you have just joined us. Surfers Against Sewage protest here at Broadhaven. They've all met down here at 12 o'clock today. Tom Dyer and myself, Toby Ellis, with you here now. With Kate that got in touch with us. I mean, this is such a major problem, and what can we do to really make a difference?
It's huge, really. It is a massive problem. I think in 2023 there was like 7,659 sewage discharges in Pembrokeshire alone. So that's a huge amount of sewage to be in our seas. Lobby Welsh Water, definitely, find out what we can, what they're doing, find out why they're discharging so much. It should be an emergency thing, and it's not. It's happening all the time.
I mean, it is simply disgusting. There is no reason why it should be happening in this day and age, for all the families here. Would you want your children going in there knowing that there potentially is raw sewage? What do potential tourists think of this? Are they going to come down to Broadhaven and beaches if that is potentially what they could experience out there?
Definitely, and it's not all of our beaches that are monitored. Not every single Pembrokeshire beach. I mean, though here, Newgale, Amroth, they're monitored, but not every beach is. Talking to Sue Christopher earlier, she runs Wild Swim Wales and she does rookie sessions down here. She said 4 out of her 8 sessions over the summer last year had to be cancelled because of sewage. Do you know, that's it's awful.
Yeah, it really is. And we put the notices and the warnings out on our channels as well. And, you know, seeing them more recurrent now, that's the problem. And this is why people like yourselves are making a stand here today.
Definitely. You know, I'm at the beach all the time. It's where I love to be. It's great for my mental health going in the water, especially with Mental Health Awareness Week at the moment. You know, people can't get in the water when they want to because of pollution.
And we shouldn't have that worry, should we? You know, it's a beautiful coastline. It is the only national park coastline in the United Kingdom. And yet we just don't seem to be looking after it. It's the gem that we have. It's why people come to visit. And if we have got concerns, it's only going to get widespread.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's not just pollution from, you know, sewage outlets and everything. At 11 o'clock this morning, before our protest, we had a litter pick down here with the New Girl Wombles, and we had quite a lot of people walking up along the beach with the litter pickers. You know, we're always picking up rubbish off the beach as well. So I think, as well as Welsh Water and as well as all the sewage companies, you know, we as people can do our bit. We need to make sure that we're not throwing rubbish on the beach. You know, we come down to the beach every day and we do a litter pick, and we're always picking up rubbish. There's not a day that I haven't come down and picked rubbish off the beach. So definitely everybody can do their bit.
Well, good on you for making such a big difference, Kate. And you can do your bit as well. Kate, where can people go if they would like to join in this movement of getting noticed, getting heard, and ultimately hopefully making a change?
So Surfers Against Sewage, they're on Instagram, Facebook. Have a look at their website. I think it's sas.org. Then there's also SAS Cymru as well. Definitely get on there. You know, all of us here, we've donated our time for free today. We've organised this off our own backs. We're not actually members of Surfers Against Sewage. It's just something that we really feel passionate about.
Thank you ever so much for speaking to us here on Pure West Radio. Tom, I mean, it's great to see so many people here, but at the same time, there shouldn't be this many people with this many concerns.
Exactly. And I think that's what today is highlighting, is that people are concerned about it. It's not a little secret. And if it is, it's the worst kept secret that there is that, oh, actually, we can't do anything with it, so let's just put it in our oceans. And yet it was only the other day that we were in White Sands talking to Celtic Deep. We're talking about the wonderful diversity of the life that we've got under our water. And we're putting that in jeopardy in a time of life where we're trying to look after our environment even more. We're putting in raw sewage. And we know about the health benefits of being out in the open water, immersing ourselves.
As we just heard from Kate, look at the blue tits, you know, I mean, well, yeah, and here they are.
I've got some lined up right here. We've got Jill, Fiona, and another one's joined us as well, Teresa. So hello, you come down here to support the protest. You're regular swimmers in our oceans here.
Yes. Every week if we possibly can, even more. But the problem is that some weeks we can't get into the ocean because every time it rains heavily, we have poo floating past us.
And has there been instances where you've actually witnessed it?
Oh, yeah. You can see the poo.
Gosh. And then I just mentioned there about the health benefits of being able to immerse ourselves in cold water and our beautiful coastline. And yet we shouldn't have to risk for our health and safety because of what's been flushed down the toilet.
No, exactly. We want to come and know that we can swim safely without having things floating past you. There's been an incident in Angor where we've been in the water and everybody's shouted, "Get out!" There's you can actually see it floating in the water. This brown scum. It's terrible. We want to be able to swim safely and know that we're going to get out without getting E. coli or, you know, the seas to be disease free. Not just for us, for children, they wouldn't notice it.
Exactly. We're entering now. The sun is shining today. Hopefully we'll have a long summer of that as well. We rely on tourism. We rely on people coming down here. And at a time where we're talking about stop the stink because of we've got landfill sites being smelly and now we've got water smelly. It's just not a very good advert, is it?
Absolutely not. And we've got such beautiful beaches that we are lucky enough to enjoy a lot of the time. And then when it's ruined by this, which could be fixed so easily.
And some of the benefits of swimming, I know that you've
one of them. Mental health is one of the big benefits of swimming. You just forget all your worries. Once you go into the water, have a dunk, have a chat with friends, or even going alone sometimes. It just helps. When you get out, you feel completely free, you feel completely different. The woes of the week are gone and you can just sort of go forward with a clear head. It's fantastic.
And particularly with the blue tits, you've got that sense of community. There's always a friend on your shoulder there as well.
We have. We just message the group. It's easy to do. And there's always somebody who will join you. You can post a dip and somebody else can come with us. So it's great. If the sea's fresh, it's fantastic.
But that's the key thing, if the sea is fresh. And you have to look at an app to see whether or not you can just jump in. which doesn't seem right, does it?
No, not at all. But I mean, when we get out there with the tits a lot of what we'll say is like, you can be free to let your worries go. What goes in the sea stays in the sea. But a lot of it shouldn't be going in the sea. That's the point.
In the first place. Very well said. Thank you so much for joining us here. We've what's said in the sea should stay in the sea, but the problem is that there's things going in there in the first place that shouldn't be.
Yeah, this is the big problem, Tom. I mean, you know, sewage should be getting treated. It should be getting dealt with. It should be recycled. It should be reused, or it should just be, you know, gone to a safe destination and spot, not into our seas. And I've got Brian and Ori joining us right now from Newport Pems. And, you know, Brian, you're, you know, a really familiar user of beaches all over Pembrokeshire, and you're here today with a little one.
Yeah.
Hello.
His first water protest.
First water protest, yeah, and hopefully we'll be seeing plenty more of you on the beach. But it's a worry, though, isn't it? You know, I mean, I've got 3 girls. You know, do you want to be bringing them down to the beach if there's worry that there could be sewage out there?
Yeah, I mean, spent, you know, even before having him, the kind of dream of having a like mini surfer in the water, and it's to get to the point of where you're actually questioning whether you go in or not is upsetting, really. Yeah.
And you know, exactly. You know, little Ori here, 14 months old, absolutely adorable, has no idea that he's live on the radio and getting broadcast around the county and further afield right now. But, you know, it is a very concerning time with what's happening here. You know, we shouldn't have to think, is it going to be safe for our children to go in the water?
No, exactly. And, you know, the living so close to the sea, you don't want to you don't want to just rule it out that it's not a possibility. And, you know, even if it's not from a physical health point of view, it's the mental health point of view. And I really don't know whether the water companies are taking that side of it seriously. You know, if they got their own, it's almost like they should really have an arm of their own mental health department at this rate, because it is affecting people. Yeah.
I mean, we're so lucky to have this beautiful coastline around us. You're a keen surfer yourself. You want to get your family into that. We know the positives of walking across the beach and soaking up that wonderful air. But at the same time, there's worries, even if you're on the beach thinking, hang on a minute, well, that raw sewage, is it getting washed up onto the shore? What is the quality of the air? What are the longer, you know, awful disadvantages of that happening, as well as mental health, but also what it's doing to the environment?
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, I think people's awareness of pollutants probably came from plastic in the beginning. And now it's like, you know, plastic is still a huge problem, but now we're having to, you know, it's plastic and pollution and sewage, and whether that's coming out from the water companies or whether that's runoff from slurry and things like that as well. But
Brian and Ori, thank you very much for joining us here on Pure West Radio. Top job indeed. You know, just more of those words echoed again, Tom, that, you know, there is real worry and concern, you know, for, you know, Ori, 14 months old. You know, should Brian be bringing his son down here because there's potentially sewage in the seas?
And that is the problem. And in fact, we've got a family here from Angle who are ready to talk to us. And that same concern, that when you bring your young family here, you don't want to be second guessing, am I able to go into the water?
Yeah, it's funny to be, you know, historically you'd always check the surf report, weather report, see if you're going in the water. And now you check the pollution report and see if it's safe to go in. And I think it's a disgrace, isn't it? And there's no reason for it. It's easily resolvable with some money and some proper infrastructure. So we really shouldn't be in a position where we're trying to keep the kids off screens, keep them in the water doing exercise, and it's dangerous for them.
That's a good point, isn't it? We're trying to encourage a healthy, active lifestyle. We're trying to use the resources around us, and yet, well, is it safer just to stay indoors?
Well, I mean, there's some questions. You know, I get sick quite often. You know, we surf most weekends, don't we, kids? Like almost every weekend and often in the week. And yeah, I'm always picking up bugs, always being sick, always having friends that are sick. And yeah, it just seems crazy. What a resource we have, this beautiful, you know, beautiful countryside, beautiful seaside. And you have to generally question whether it's safe to go in or not.
And that's really sad. Have you got a favourite beach that you like going to?
Freshwater West.
You like the big waves?
Yeah.
And
Also West Angle.
and West Angle?
Don't tell anyone about that. Don't tell anyone about that place, Dan.
The secret. And what about your favourite beach?
Freshwater West and West Angle.
The same ones. Are they good for the surfboard? You've got quite small surfboards here, so I imagine you're pretty good surfers.
Kind of, yeah.
And then what do you think? Do you think about what's in the water before you jump in there? Or do you think, you know what, I'm going to have a good time? And you're here today with all these other people protesting about the dirt and the mess that's in the water. You'd like to just go in there and just have fun?
Yeah. I would like to have fun, and it's really nice to get in the water.
It's great for the whole family. It's a great activity. It's great physical exercise, and it's also very calming to be surrounded by water.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you so much for talking with us. You're talking to my surf teacher then as well.
No, oh,
He was the one at my
fantastic.
stands that got me on my feet. So thank you very much.
Absolutely incredible. I'm joined by Andy now from Broadhaven. Thanks ever so much for joining us here on Pure West Radio, Andy. I mean, really interesting hearing your take on this, on the effect that it's got on the sea life out there.
Absolutely. I mean, what we're looking at here from the beach at Broadhaven is officially a marine special area of conservation. And that's because of the important marine biodiversity that we have here. I'm talking about things like porpoises, dolphins. We even had a humpback whale spotted here earlier this year. And of course, the diversity of fish and crustaceans and so on. And this is all threatened by the massive increase in sewage pollution that we've experienced. Just behind me, you have Swanswell Brook, which flows from the catchment that has the Walton West Sewage Treatment Works in it. And just in 2023, just last year, there were hundreds of hours of dumping of sewage into this brook, and that's flowing out onto the beach and into the sea. We have a wonderful community nature reserve here just behind me, the Slash Pond Community Nature Reserve. And we still have occasional otters and eels that come to the pond. Eels, would you believe, are now an endangered species in the world, not just here, but obviously they're clinging on by their fingernails, if they had fingernails, in the fresh water that we have here remaining. And this is part of the reason why it's so critical, not just public health, but also the health of our biodiversity. Wales is one of the most nature-denuded countries in Europe, I'm sad to say. And the Senedd a couple of years ago declared a nature emergency. So the Havens Community Council last year, responding to that, prepared a nature recovery action plan. And that involves really taking action to look after our fresh water, our woodlands, our hedgerows, and everybody can get engaged in contributing to restoring nature and helping recover nature. Today, we're really focusing on the quality of our streams, the public health aspects of our Blue Flag Beach, which is threatened by its status being threatened by the quantity of sewage we're seeing here. So it's just been so fantastic to see. There must have been a couple of hundred people or more present today. So it's really encouraging to see. And I think that's a sign that people are becoming increasingly aware and increasingly concerned that things are a bit out of control.
Andy, thank you ever so much for joining us here on Pure West from Broadhaven. So many issues that are surrounding this problem. If you have just joined us, we are live on Laurie's Lifestyle Show for your Saturday afternoon. Some breaking news following a huge protest here today. It is Surfers Against Sewage, and we're hearing more and more problems, Tom, as we speak to more people here today.
Yeah, and I think it's just been swept under the carpet, and it's been swept under the carpet for too long, where you've only had this vocal minority, Surfers Against Sewage. They're not new. They've been going since 1990 to trying to put these protests on, trying to make those companies aware that there is an issue to be had. And we've touched on it ever so slightly with the blue tits that we had earlier, Jill and Fiona in particular. But I'm now joined by Daniel, who's a psychologist, talking about those benefits of being in cold water. It's on our doorstep. It's an inexpensive way for people to look after their mental health.
Absolutely. You know, there's so much you can do in the therapy room, which is great. But when you come out into the cold water and out in nature, it has like a reset. And you can then take the benefits just to a whole nother level. But if the water is polluted, then people are going to be reluctant to go in. And but if it's not, then, you know, and then something happens when you're actually in the water. That's very different when you're just on the land. It has such a, you know, psychologically, emotionally, physical benefits. So I just want to sort of say that.
And of course, it's a free resource. If you're feeling that you need that reset, you can come to the water's edge. You can go for a plunge. You don't even have to be in there for very long.
That's right. You know, I mean, therapy is expensive in some respects. Yes, through the NHS, but there's a lot of waiting lists there. So if you can get some of the benefits just by going into the sea or in a river, then that's a good thing.
Good thing. Daniel, thank you so much for joining us. There've been the issues that we've been facing on our beaches. And as I mentioned, this is just one of our blue flag beaches that we have here in Pembrokeshire. That blue flag status is such a beacon, and yet that's in jeopardy. And we look out behind us, all the paddlers have come back in now. You wouldn't think there's anything going on there, but we don't know. And that's part of the issue, isn't it?
Yeah, it's such a widespread problem, this, not just here in Broadhaven. This is affecting multiple beaches in Pembrokeshire, in Wales, the United Kingdom, Europe, and beyond. And we don't know what's happening in other countries where there is even less regulation. You know, this is a big problem. It's been incredible speaking to so many people here today, looking at the effects it's having on people's, you know, I mean, let's look at the positive first. People come down here for getting mental health, you know, for getting the goodness from the sea, the clean air, you know, to spend quality family time. I mean, there is over 1,000 people on this beach here today. Lots of smiles, lots of laughter. You can see all the kids playing around. They're oblivious to what's going on in that sea. However, we've heard from people then that after going out to the sea, they're regularly getting ill. Then that's physical, you know, as well as, you know, mental issues happening with people's health because of what's happening. It's not right, and it needs sorting out. And it's just awful to discover this is happening here on our doorstep, and things have got to change.
Yeah, and this is just one event. You need to have a look. Surfers Against Sewage, they've got more information on their websites. Esha, Dennis mentioned the app there as well. And it's worth just having a quick little download till this is ironed out.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and we'll put all the details on our comments section. Everything will be on there, as well as our socials. So breaking news for you. It's Tom Dyer, Toby Ellis here at the Broadhaven Beach today for a protest for Surfers Against Sewage. Do your bit by liking, by sharing, get the conversation started, report to Welsh Water, check out the links in our socials. And it's back to you in the studio, Jill.
Thank you very much, guys. Oh, it's so important, isn't it? What a wonderful protest. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. You've done really well. Right, we'll get on with the news now. Sorry, a little bit later than advertised, but there we are.